aşağı kaldığımız yerden vampire.
It's okay, Jonathan.
Devam
I'll see you later.
It's locked.
Come on, you bastard! You can do better than that!
Pardon.
I'm sorry, Jonathan. Mr. Hampton needs me right now.
Nah, it's my turn!
Rotten or pristine, each heart contains the secret of life. Drink at this river, try it all.
Oh, come on, you bastard! I won't bite!
Sir, please. You've lost too much blood. Calm yourself.
You think I didn't notice? Stop your staring and get me to an hospital, you arse!
Insulting a good Samaritan. Not exactly the way to get rescued.
Alright, sorry. I am in pain here. Me guts are spilling out onto the street and you're yabbering on.
Yes. That's a very nasty wound you've got there. Take my word, I am a doctor. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Name's Clay Cox. I'd appreciate you helping me to a better place, Doc.
Follow me, Mr. Cox. Let me assist you to that better place. Bring this fading light into the shadows. Dance with him the dance of life and death.
In the back, you bastard! Didn't have the guts to fight me. Fuck you. I'll kill you. I'll kill you.
To taste a life, to embrace its most intimate secrets. Such a burden, such a divine sin.
Doctor, where have you been? I've little time to play hide and seek with new staff members, no matter how illustrious they may be.
I apologize, nurse. I needed some time to myself. This has been the longest and strangest night of my life.
You delivered poor Mr. Hampton from a terrible fate. The means to that end should be of little concern, Doctor.
Thank you, nurse. What can I do for you?
Dr. Swansea insisted we provide you a quiet office. You'll find it on the second floor with your name on the door.
Thank you. Nurse Crane, isn't it?
Yes, Dorothy Crane. Welcome to Pembroke Hospital, Dr. Reed. Your office has been prepared.
I would like to ask a few questions. And Mr. Hampton, the patient we brought in, how does he fare?
I gave him a sedative to help him sleep.
What kind of man?
Well, you accepted the job from him. I thought you would have known about your employer.
Apologies, I've only just met him the once.
Dr. Swansea is a brilliant surgeon and the most compassionate physician.
It's right to assume Dr. Swansea knows far more about me than I do about him.
You'll get to know him soon enough, and better than me.
Thank you, Nurse Crane. Dr. Swansea is right. This place seems perfect to conduct my research.
Ghost on every street corner. The daily routine.
Not now!
This must be the place. It's definitely away from prying eyes. Relegated to the shadows. A kingdom of my own. At least I won't be sleeping in a coffin.
Penceremiz varmış.
William Bishop's blood is much more unstable than human blood and shows extensive mutation. But this is not what happened to me. I must keep on searching. The sun is about to rise. I can feel it. I'll continue tomorrow night. I have so much time now. To stay here until my research is complete. I'd better learn to hide my true nature from the mortals. But what about my thirst for blood?
hurry now, Doctor. It's freezing here.
Ne oldu?
Yes, Nurse Crane? How can I help you?
I'm so sorry. I know Dr. Swansea wanted you to rest, but we have somewhat of a crisis.
A crisis, you say?
Our supply of antiseptics is nearly depleted. I was hoping there was another box up here, but...
What type of hospital are you running? No antiseptics?
You have been away too long, Doctor. With the war and now this epidemic, supplies have been running scarce for months now.
I may have a solution. In France, during the war, drugs shortage was a daily problem, and we had to use our wits to overcome the shortages.
However do you mean?
If combined correctly, certain household chemical products can be used in a pinch instead. Now, where's the hospital storeroom?
The storeroom? Fat chance. This is the Pembroke, and space is luxury we don't have. Everything used to be stored in the old morgue.
Perhaps I should look there first. Where is this morgue?
It's the large building behind the hospital. You'll need to go in the back door because it's been sealed off for sanitary reasons. Take this key. It opens a small back entrance at the end of a narrow street.
The abandoned morgue behind the hospital. A small door at the end of a narrow street. On my way then. Thank you, nurse. Scour voices in the garden. I should investigate. If they were to find somebody. I cannot enter. It's locked, all right. Behavior is similar to the infected William Bishop. Must be the same strain. This sickness moves faster than influenza. I cannot enter. This key will surely grant me access to the basement. Balls of Mars, fortifiers. As popular as they are ineffective. But they do contain iron tartrate, and that might prove itself.
Nereye gitti lan o?
These scowls feed from corpses and tusks of animals. They're not our. It's locked. Mr. Connor's injuries don't match the report. I'd better look into this. It's locked, all right. These scowls can be so ferocious. I'm not sure I can defeat them without becoming stronger. To drink blood is so tempting. Sodium hypochlorite. Dangerous to administer, but efficient in the proper dosage. similar to the infected William Bishop. Must be the same strain. This sickness moves faster than influenza. I cannot enter.
Ben nereden girdim lan?
Finally, you've returned, Doctor. Did you find anything of value?
Yes, nurse.
You've worked your first miracle, Doctor. Now, this patient here needs immediate treatment.
Duty calls. When the storm has passed, I'll show you how to mix the remedy yourself with the same basic ingredients.
Many thanks, Doctor. When you've finished, you ought to report to Dr. Swansea in his office. He's been looking for you. Seemed pressing. Dr. Reed, may I help you?
I'll see you later.
This hospital seems to be falling apart. Good evening, sir. But in the circumstances, I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed.
No,
Really?
I don't want to talk.
I suppose that this pain is the...
Yes,
Could you at least tell me...
Mortimer.
How painful is your...
So painful, I'd rather not.
I'm sure you realize a doctor...
Not really.
I see.
Yes, maybe.
How
So painful, I'd rather.
I'll let you...
Good evening, sir.
This hospital is falling apart.
Good evening, madam. Can I help you?
It's my son who needs you, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed.
I'm Beatrice Goswick, mother.
What do you think of your reception?
I have had the uttermost reservations about...
Is there something in particular that's bothering you?
Some of the staff were not especially...
Tell me more about your arrival at the Pembroke Hospital.
The ambulance driver was quite rude, for a start.
What do you mean?
She managed to secure a bed for my son.
She charged you?
Yes, and I paid without question.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
You always knew the words to calm the children, Helen.
Dr. Reed, may I?
You can handle this.
What can you tell me about our patient?
This hospital was founded to...
Can you be more...
Well, veterans.
What can you tell me about...
Everyday folk.
News on the...
It seemed...
I'll see you later. Good evening, sir.
I don't know if a third opinion is needed.
I see.
I'm Harvey Fiddick. All I want is a...
Tell me about the doctors.
Strickland and Aykroyd. They both want...
What do you mean?
I often had professional arguments with Wright.
Are you satisfied with your...
Well, it's clear that I've chosen...
I won't lie to you about it.
Are you sure you don't want to operate yourself, Dr. Reed?
In other circumstances, you would be right. Goodbye for now.
Always knew the words to calm the
Sahneden
children.
memnun değil.
As for me... How long must I wait, damn it? Blaming me will not further your agenda, sir. How long's it going to take to fix me properly? A month? A year?
You have the right to disapprove of our methods, and you will kindly apologize when you're feeling better.
Good evening, Doctor. I believe we're going...
Dr. Reed. Dr. Swan, I am thrust.
What can you tell me about...
Well, it has always been an honor to work with Dr. Swan.
Do you need...
Well, yes, maybe.
Do you want me to play the errand boy for you?
Oh, no, Dr. Reed.
I see. Goodbye. Good evening, Mr. Fitt.
Good evening, Doc. All I wanted was to go back to work, to take care of my children.
Artık kolunu ağrımayacak iyi tadından bak.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I believe...
Reed? Yes, I've been informed about your arrival. I'm Waverley Aykroyd. Welcome welcome aboard, I suppose.
Does my arrival inconvenience you in some way, Dr. Aykroyd?
Let us just say that I don't particularly share Dr.
Do you need my assistance?
Not at all. I'm sure that you are...
Thank you.
I'm quite busy right now, Dr. Reed.
Doktor Aykroyd. Sen artık ölüsün oğlum yakında.
Thank you for your time.
A giant wharf disguised as a hospital. That's Pembroke nowadays.
You are going to reveal...
Good evening, nurse.
Good evening, Doctor. I don't think we've been introduced yet. My name is Pippa Hawkins.
And I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. Dr. Swansea has recently offered me a position in this hospital.
Well, it's a euphemism that your help will be appreciated, Doctor.
Nasıl yani?
How long have you been a nurse?
Well, long enough to see that the epidemic is winning. And no matter how qualified you are, don't tell me you'll change that.
I don't like your attitude, Nurse Hawkins. Pessimism can be as lethal as the epidemic in times like these.
Sorry, Doctor. I don't want to sound bitter, but I'm just too tired to give a pep talk like Nurse Brannigan.
How is the Pembroke staff coping with the epidemic?
Well, not well. Milton, the ambulance driver, is even more grumpy than usual, especially concerning doctors.
Why is Milton grumpy on a daily basis? Is it just an act?
Milton's not the kind of man who's bothered about a bad reputation, whether he deserved it or not.
Why does Milton dislike doctors?
I don't know. Just ask him. But be warned. Milton is not the chatty...
How would you describe the situation?
It's serious. The flu is wreaking havoc amongst the staff and patients. We are running out of everything.
Nurse Hawkins, the Spanish flu won't last forever. Even the Black Plague didn't kill everyone.
I wish I could believe you. But what if this epidemic was worse? What if in the end, nobody was spared?
How would you describe...
It's so...
You must get...
Sorry. I mean...
Goodbye, nurse. Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon at the Pembroke Hospital. And who are you?
Your name has no meaning to me, mortal. You're nothing but dust blown by the wind.
I beg your pardon.
What are you begging for, mortal?
You keep calling me mortal.
Well, Dr. Reed, if you...
Sen nasıl vampirsin lan?
And why do you believe you're a vampire?
I don't need to believe anything. It is...
Please, describe to me how you feel. What is it like to be a vampire?
I can hear my body crumble from the inside as my flesh cracks and fades. I sense the last...
I see. Have you ever heard of Cotard syndrome, Miss Howcroft?
Never.
It's a mental illness discovered by a French neurologist named Jules Cotard. The affected patients are delusional. They believe that they are putrefying, that they are dead.
Delusional, you say? Oh, sad and petty. Immortal. You can't even begin to understand the concept of immortality. And you think it is I who am...
I'm assuming you must be a patient here.
It's only a cover. To hide from my enemies. I can leave whenever I want. As a woman,
Who are these enemies you mentioned? Can you describe them?
I cannot say for sure. But
The staff here are not your...
I'm not speaking of the doctors in white. I'm speaking of the men and women who hunt me. For I am a...
I see. Don't...
Thank you, mortal. But do not interfere with them.
Ben kafayı yemişim oğlum.
Who are you really, Miss Howcroft? I mean, apart from being a vampire.
Is that not enough for you, puny mortal?
I'm curious to know who you were.
No, it's such a long time ago, I don't remember. Centuries of unholy life can have strange effect.
I'll leave you, Mr.
O deli deli.
Good evening, sir.
Unless you're here to fix my...
I'm Dr. Reed.
You guessed right, Doctor.
How is your stay with us?
Oh, it's bliss.
Can I ask you precisely why you're a patient here?
It's the pain, sir. The drugs don't work. It just hurts under the scars, if you get my drift.
Who is treating you? Is someone in particular looking after your case?
Nobody since the old and tired doctor spoke to me. Started to think I was forgotten about.
You don't seem worried.
My face hurts so much more when I smile or cry. I've learned it's easier not to speak.
Can I do anything for your...
Nurses gave me a bunch of pills.
How close are you to Miss Hallcroft? Are you aware that she thinks she is a vampire?
To wait for her next nibble is the best reason to stay here. Every time she approaches my bed, she treats me like something tasty. A normal...
Aren't you afraid? She may hurt you.
She's quite harmless, I can assure you.
So do you let her bite you? You know that's not sanitary.
And why not? She's only
She could decide to bite less.
And it's another good reason for me to...
You do realize she's mentally disturbed. It's called the Cotard syndrome.
In her madness, she never...
Where were you stationed, sir?
I really don't want to talk about...
No offense.
You were an officer, weren't you? Then I doubt we fought the same war, sir.
Goodbye for now.
Damn. The pain. It's here again.
Good evening, Miss.
I need blood, Doctor. Warm.
Tell me, Thelma, why do you feel so attached to Mr. Elwood? Why him?
I'm not sure.
Would you say you and Mr. Elwood are romantically involved?
No. No, Thomas is a delicate soul. Even though he disguises it. But I am not the woman he needs.
Do you plan to make him a vampire?
Of course not. How could I inflict...
I'll leave you.
I wonder what your last thoughts would be, sir.
Good evening, sir.
So it is true. The famous Dr. Reed has joined us. I can't think of any better news during these terrible...
Do we know each other?
Actually, yes. We met one...
Dr. Tippett's, yes, I remember. I was assisting Professor Carell in his research about coronary bypass.
He was also very confident about your future. And look at you now. Eminent surgeon and blood transfusion...
What is the Pembroke Hospital situation? And please, speak freely.
This hospital is not exactly the best of London. I'm sure you are used to working in a better environment.
It's not exactly the best situation in London either. I can't have expected this hospital to be prepared for what was to come.
Don't be misled by appearances, Dr. Reed.
What can you tell me about the staff in the hospital?
Some are really good, and others are not so good. But during this troubled period, there is no time for slander. I prefer to focus on the positive character trait.
Any opinion about the management?
I don't always agree with Dr. Swansea's reserve, but I must admit he does all he can to keep this facility running during this crisis.
Ah, yes, the burden of command. I was fed up with this concept while serving as a medical officer.
Don't get me wrong. Swansea's a good administrator. I just wish he would get out of his office now and again.
Any opinion about...
Don't get...
Tell me more about cherished people.
Nurse Brannigan is a pearl. She is the most helpful and dedicated nurse I've ever worked with.
You really seem to admire her skills.
I'll go even further. If she was a man, she would be a damn fine practitioner.
Goodbye, Doc. Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'm new here.
I've already heard about you, Dr. Reed. I'm Milton Hooks, the ambulance driver for this shithole of a hospital.
That's quite a blunt introduction, Mr. Hooks.
You can call me Milton. I like to speak my mind, Dr. Reed. Perk of the job. Don't judge me, and I won't judge you.
I'm not sure I understand what you're talking about.
Well, I'm no doctor, but I'm pretty sure a gun can't be used as a surgical instrument.
You have a keen eye. I learned to shoot during the war and have carried one ever since. Old habits die hard.
No need to explain, Dr. Reed. And if you ever need a better gun, remember, I may have something for you.
How is the situation around here?
You want to hear the situation is all right? It's fucking awful. We lack everything, and it's getting worse every day.
So what do you do exactly in this hospital? Apart from smuggling guns, I mean.
I've been an ambulance driver since... too long, I guess. I bring sick people here night and day. It's a dirty job, but I get it done. Most of the time.
Since you're on the front line, how is the sanitary situation in this vicinity?
It's a complete disaster. It's even getting dangerous to enter some streets or buildings. Even the locals attack you.
It sounds like things have been a bit rough recently. What's happened?
Yesterday I got attacked by the patient I was bringing here. I escaped through the hospital's garden, but I lost my wallet when I was running.
You left an infected patient?
Go there yourself if you want, but be careful, Doctor.
do you have such a mediocre reputation among your colleagues, Milton?
Fuck them. Nobody knows the horrors I've seen since working here. This city was sick long before the epidemic, Dr. Reed.
I know it's a difficult task, but correct me if I'm wrong. Is this not the job you are paid to do?
I've seen babies left to die while their
I'm sorry, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, exactly. We lack words.
Are you really smuggling weapons through the hospital?
And why not? I've already been attacked by patients, you know. And by gang members willing to steal my money.
But you're not defending yourself.
You keep people alive your own way, Doctor. I offer them another way to protect them.
I'd like to see your goods.
Wise choice, Dr. Reed. A reliable gun is what everybody needs these days.
Good evening, nurse. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed, the new surgeon here at the Pembroke.
Dr. Swansea has already told us about you, sir. I'm Nurse Gwyneth Brannigan. Welcome to the Pembroke Hospital.
Did he really? It's a good thing I wasn't hoping to keep a low profile.
All members of staff have already read about your new blood
I see. Well, I'm a little surprised, but I suppose I'll just have to deal with this unexpected notoriety.
You must know, blood transfusions are
How are things here?
not good, to say the least. We're struggling against an invisible enemy, more lethal than any bullet from a gun.
An invisible enemy? Quite a poetic term for a disease, especially from an...
Sorry, Doctor. These last few weeks have been exhausting. We could all do with a good night's sleep.
Do you think this hospital can survive the epidemic?
We are all volunteers here, and we're trying to hold fast, but how do we beat an invisible killer?
I'm not familiar with all the staff yet. Perhaps you could help me.
Brilliant professionals, most of them. Dr. Swansea has a gift for recruiting talent.
Most of them. Is there a problem I should know about, nurse?
It would be inappropriate for me to speak ill of a colleague.
Is there anyone that stands out?
Well, I have never met someone as dedicated as Dr. Tippett's. He should be a standard for us all here.
Why should his age be a problem?
I guess it's fair to say he's always pushing himself to the limits. He just doesn't know when to stop and get some rest.
Nurse Brannigan, if you do know something, please tell me. Anything you say will be held in confidence.
No. I may disagree with some conduct, but in the end, everybody is doing their...
Why does Dr. Tippett claim you're the main reason he keeps working, despite his fatigue?
If it wasn't for him, I probably would have left the Pembroke years ago.
Dr. Tippett does not think of you as just a nurse anymore, does he?
If you're suggesting he's not taking my gender into consideration when it comes to medical practice and knowledge, I really hope he doesn't.
Goodbye, nurse. It's locked.
It's here again.
Good evening.
Thelma Howcroft said she was being watched by vampire hunters.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed. Always a pleasure to meet a colleague, sir. Especially when he was supposedly dead.
A colleague? Are you a doctor too?
Not anymore, sir. I used to be Dr. Rakesh Chadana. Now, I'm just Mr. Chadana, pawnbroker.
What do you mean, you used to be a doctor?
No, sir. It is just that I like to be precise. I run a little pawn shop while taking care of the dead. But I used to be a real doctor.
Have we met before?
I don't think so, sir.
When we first talked, you said you were glad to meet me since I was reported dead.
Funny story, sir. Your sister came here a few nights ago. You were missing, and she was looking for your body.
Are you afraid or uneasy being...
Why should I? These bodies are empty.
An interesting point of view. And quite an exotic one, too. Most people fear, or at least have a respect, for dead flesh.
Sir, as a medic during the war, I learned to face my death and the death of others.
How did you get this job?
After I left the army,
Do you work here alone?
Yes, very easy work, sir. All I have to do is watch a few bodies. The situation was very different when the...
Why do you have to watch these bodies?
Because these poor fellows have no names.
Why close the hospital's main morgue?
It was for sanitary reasons after the beginning of the epidemic. Cadavers had to be moved to the nearest mass grave.
A pawnbroker?
Yes, sir. All kind of people.
What kind of...
With the quarantine, it's not always easy to buy.
Who comes here to trade with you?
I'm very cautious, sir.
Since you're not afraid of dying, do you believe in life after death, Rakesh?
No. I believe we must...
Do you think you would enjoy immortality?
I don't think so. Don't mistake me. I love life and I'd like to live a long life. But everything has...
Do you really believe goodwill can...
As I said, sir, everything decays. If I was to never die, goodness, I would be bored or...
Quite depressing.
Yes, but the good news is...
So you're ready to die?
No, I am not. I don't fear death, for I won't see it. What troubles me is the pain my death...
You're a wise man.
No, Dr. Reed. I am a foolish man.
Please show me what you...
Of course. It's just... It never ceases to amaze me how...
I cannot enter.
Please, Jonathan, come in. Fascinating, is it not? In the last decade, so many mysteries have been brought to light with our microscopes. The human body, biology's penultimate frontier. The more we explore its boundaries, the less we're able to trace a clear line between life and death. You, my friend, have a foot in both countries. The view must be vertiginous.
It's at least as vertiginous as chatting about vampires with you, I would say.
This must be all so new to you. This area of town, the hospital, a brand new life. How stimulating it must be.
I wish I could share your enthusiasm, Dr. Swansea, but my condition defies scientific categorization. Undead? Unalive? Immortality defies logic.
I cannot express my thrill at this serendipitous turn of events. The world's most eminent specialist in blood transfusions, a vampire. One might say a gift from heaven.
I'm a dead man. I was murdered. Now I'm a murderer. Tell me how this is a gift.
Forgive me. I've been an admirer of your work for a long time, and now you are so much more than a brilliant physician. And please, call...
There is no need to apologize, Edgar. You offered me sanctuary when I had none.
Very well. I have a task for you, Jonathan. Something that will require all your newfound skills.
Please, go on.
The Pembroke only survives through the generosity of our benefactors. Unfortunately, our main donor has found herself in a bit of a bind. Now, if you could help her out...
A spokesman or politician is what you need.
Discretion is in order, Jonathan. Lady Ashbury has recently received rather indelicate correspondence that, if revealed, would jeopardize her position.
And you would like me to eradicate this threat?
By the stole, of course not. I would just...
Accepted. I'll see what kind...
Do you need something?
I have just a...
Then ask away.
The man we pursued and slew in the canning factory...
He was a Skal, technically speaking.
Just for clarity, what differences are there between myself and a Skal?
A Skal is easier to eliminate, Jonathan, even if they remain formidable foes for the unprepared. Vampires... Now, vampires...
How do Skals come into...
The name means slave. The etymology may indicate that they are a lesser species of vampire. From what I know, vampires tend to despise them.
Since I'm the one working for you...
Well, for many years, we have been the only
What do you expect?
What we need is hope.
We'll see each other... The flower's dying. It needs water.